Welcome to Kermode Uncut, and it is the final ever Kermode Uncut. You'll know that I've been running down my top 10 best and worst movies of the last 10 years, the decade through which Kermode Uncut has run. And we've come to the very end of this story. I've already done my top 10 favourites, and I've done number 10 to number 6 of my least favourites. Now it's time for number 5 to number 1 of the worst movies of the last 10 years.
Small-time Northern English businessman Keith Lemon has gone from rags to riches.
Now, one of the things that's been great about doing the Kermode Uncut blog is the opportunity to do stupid slapstick sight gags. And at number 5 in my least favourite movies of the last 10 years, Keith Lemon, the movie. And you may remember, when I was reviewing the Transformers movies, I did a kind of jokey thing about, banging my head against various hard objects to see whether or not it was more fun than watching Transformers. And when it came to Keith Lemon, the movie, a really terrible film, I remember the blog because the blog literally consisted of me hitting myself in the face with a large volume of the OED. In fact, here's the clip. I have here not one, but 2 volumes of the shorter Oxford English Dictionary. Volume 1, Volume 2. You watching? Yes, that was actually more fun than watching Keith Lemon the movie. The best thing is, I still think that joke is funny after all these years.
Anxiety.
On to number 4, and the film for which my contempt has got me into the most trouble with cineasts around the country and probably around the world. I was reading a blog somewhere, and someone was saying, the thing with film critics is that film critics, all the movies they hate, they're all blockbusters, they're all Transformers and Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, nobody hates like a proper art movie. Why is that? Excuse me, welcome to Kermode Uncut, where at number 4, in the worst movies I've seen in the last 10 years, is Jean-Luc Godard's film Socialisme. Now, you may well remember, when this first came out, I was at the Cannes Film Festival. I saw it at the Cannes Film Festival. I was deeply unhappy because I was at Cannes anyway. And the trailer for the film was the entire movie played at top speed, so you could watch the whole thing in 3 minutes, which was infinitely preferable to watching the film itself. But when Film Socialisme played at Cannes, I was surrounded by a room of really sort of intense, cineast critics, all of them, so fabulous, yes, it's great, it's wonderful. And I was literally sitting there thinking, what does he have to do to make you go, I'm sorry, Jean-Luc. It's not just that the emperor has no clothes. As I said at the time, he is literally running naked down the street, waving his Nouvelle Vagues in your face. Now, since then, I have read passionate defences of film socialism, and I have enjoyed on the internet people explaining to me why it is that I cannot possibly call myself a serious film critic because I think that film socialism is one of the worst 10 movies in the last 10 years. Well, you know what? It is. And you want proof? Go watch it. It's bloody awful.
Give me a kiss goodnight. It's the last single girl kiss.
The ultimate single gal, Carrie Bradshaw, will be married to John James Preston come fall.
Should we get you a diamond?
No, just get me a really big closet.
The strange thing about Sex and the City 2 was it was the film that most clearly demonstrated to me that if a film critic really hates a movie, it'll probably help the movie. I have spent so many weeks and months, and in fact years, since that film came out, having people come up to me and say, I saw your review of that Sex and the City 2. It was so terrible, I had to go and see it. Whenever that film comes on the television, which is quite often, it seems to be in hard rotation on satellite, people text me or they tweet me, they send me messages. I'm watching Sex and the City 2 on channel Bong at the moment. You'll never believe what I saw yesterday. I just dipped into Sex and the City 2 and it's every bit as bad as you said it was. In a way, I think I helped that movie. I think I boosted its sales. I think I certainly didn't do it any harm, and it is absolute proof that critics cannot damage movies' box office. I mean, honestly, the critical response to Sex and the City 2, it wasn't just me. Nobody liked that film. I don't think that anybody watching it actually liked it, but it still took a whole bunch of money. Why? Well, because it's Sex and the City. The thing had a kind of inbuilt audience. But no matter how much you dislike a film, it won't stop people going to see it. But in the case of Sex and the City 2, I think I actively encourage people to see it. And all I can say is, I'm really sorry. In my whole career, it's the one thing I really, really, really regret.
You know, things don't always happen like this in real life. I just think you should know that now.
I had a wife, 2 beautiful daughters. Thank God I left her. Now I'm with 7 honeys, of which I can choose from.
Oh my God, this guy understands me.
Which brings us to the number 2 spot. Now, if you cast your mind back to number 9, you remember that at number 9, there was a Transformers movie, a Michael Bay movie, and you probably thought, wow, that's kind of quite high up. I mean, I thought that Mike has a real problem with Michael Bay, and yet number 9, that's not doing so bad. But at number 2, welcome back, Michael. Yes, you have 2 entries in my worst 10 movies of the last 10 years, and at number 2, Pain and Gain. Now, I'm going to say it once more, and for the last time, I don't care whether nobody believes me. I went into Pain and Gain with an open mind because everyone had said to me, it's the independent movie in which we really see what a great artiste Michael Bay could be. I mean, yes, he's made the robot crashy, smashy movies, but underneath that, there's an artistic heart beating. This is his independent film. This is his personal project. This is the film in which he really shows us his soul. And he really did. And it was worse. It was the movie that made me go, Michael, go back to having robots hitting each other, because if this is what you make when you're allowed to do whatever you want, I just want to escape the planet. Pain and Gain is a really, really hard slog of a movie. Again, it has its defenders. I know people have got in touch with me and say, you don't understand that movie. You better see it again. And quite often, I'm willing to go back and give a movie a second choice. But I went in to see Pain and Gain with an open mind. And it disappointed me in ways which I cannot begin to explain. And you know what? I am not going to go back and see it again. Not now, not never. It's done. I'm finished. Pain and Gain is in the past, and I am moving on.
Hit me! Hey, boys! Hey, bro! We'll be right back.
Nobody leave. Except you. You could go.
Which brings me to the number 1 spot, my least favourite film of the last 10 years. And it will be no surprise to anybody to learn that it is, of course, the one and only Entourage. Now, the interesting thing with Entourage is it's a film which perfectly proves Simon Mayo's theory of secondary infection. When I reviewed the film on the Radio 5 live show that I do with Simon Mayo and that we're going to continue to do forever and ever and ever, I really, really got off my bike about it. And the review kind of went viral. I mean, people, for ages afterwards, Daniel Craig met Simon Mayo and said, Mark Kermode didn't like that Entourage very much. It was something that had real traction. Actually, in that same program, I reviewed a whole bunch of other movies that I really liked, but no one remembered. What they remembered was how much I didn't like Entourage. And Simon said, well, the reason that people remember is because you got angry about it. And he said that when you get angry about films, it's to do with secondary infection. He said, if the film is just bad, it's okay. You don't like it, you're disappointed. But he said, if you think it's bad and you find it morally repugnant, that's the secondary infection. That's the point at which you get really cross. And I'm looking back at my list of worst films, Entourage, Pain and Gain, Sex and the City 2. That's exactly right. It's that weird combination of a badly made film that also has a really reprehensible moral undertow. I remember watching Entourage and feeling unclean. I remember watching it and thinking, I hate everything about this film. I hate its ethos, I hate the people it depicts, I hate the materialistic worldview, I hate the attitude towards, it's not just attitude towards women, I hate the attitude towards men, I hate the attitude towards humanity. I hate the attitude of the filmmakers. I hate the way that it's a film that imagines that you're on side with these characters and their loathsome desires and all the things that the film thinks is wonderful and we should all aspire to. No, 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 no. I'm not having it. And the really interesting thing is that I wasn't alone. It wasn't me going out on a limb. I think most critics thought the Entourage movie was utterly hateful. I think it is the worst film I've seen in the last 10 years. And I know it's a bold statement, but really it is that bad. My top 10 list there, just to recount it for you. Number 10, Pirates of the Caribbean double bill. Number 9, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. 8, Wolves at the Door. 7, The Hottie and the Naughty. 6, Gods of Egypt. 5, Keith Lemon the Movie. 4, Film Socialisme. 3, Sex and the City 2. Number 2, Pain and Gain. And at number 1, Entourage. Now, I'm sure that you have your own choices. Maybe there are films in there that you like. Maybe you're one of the people who's defended Pain and Gain, and there are many. That's fine. It's free country. You're wrong, but go ahead. But let me know what you think I've left out. Let me know what you think are the worst movies of the last decade. And let me know whether there's anything that gets you as riled as Entourage got me.
Oh, God.
So there we we are, my top 10 best and worst films of the last 10 years, a whole decade of Kermode Uncut. And I'd just like to say thanks to everyone for watching the blogs. If you watch regularly, great. If you just dipped in and out, thanks very much. It's been a real pleasure to make them. These blogs have been made basically by me and Nick, who's on the other side of that camera. And we've really enjoyed every minute of it. So thanks for tuning in. And the Radio 5 live show I did with Simon Mayo is going to continue onward and onward, ever onward. If you want to go back and look at any of the reviews that I've talked about, they're pretty much all online. You can find them in the archive. For now, from Kermode Uncut, from me and Nick, thanks for watching. Keep watching the skies.